Around 50% of Wabash College students are either current or former roster sport athletes. They start off, sports start off with 50% of the roster being freshmen. When that freshman class becomes seniors, it ends up being a shadow of what was the class before. Why is this the case? Wabash College roster sports has a negative effect on students' overall college experience. It is academically and socially crippling. Now, I did a survey with 45 roster sport athletes, current roster sport athletes. The survey was a scale of 1 to 10, 5.5 being a neutral feeling. How do you feel about your sport as a hobby? The average of those 45 people I surveyed was 5.1. Now, why for something to be something that's a hobby, something you do for fun, consider more of a negative connotation to it? This is a huge problem. For my first reason, I go into why Wabash sports has a negative effect and why it cripples you academically. And I interviewed current baseball player Robbie Manuzzi on this topic. What are some things you dislike about baseball at Wabash College?
I think one of the biggest things is just it's such a big time commitment, and there's not necessarily as many resources that you'd expect to have with such a time commitment that you have with baseball. And I'm assuming it's like this with every other sport. And it really makes it hard sometimes to be able to do schoolwork and focus on your school while still participating in athletics.
Do you think sports has a negative effect on your personal life as well?
I think there are definitely some ways that happens, such as like there are times where I go all day, go to classes, and I have practice, and then have to go straight to the library. And once I get back from the library, it's already time to get to sleep so that I have enough sleep to go be able to take on the next day.
Thank you. Robbie mentions how much of a time commitment it is for baseball, talking about how he goes from his classes to baseball to library to sleep and repeat. This is not sustainable. We need, as students, student athletes, we need time for ourselves to recuperate, socialize, be ourselves. If he compromises his social or mental needs for academics, because sports, that's going to take it up regardless. Like there's no leniency with sports. So then his academics might suffer due to him trying to not burn out for once. And Wabash College sports can drain the social life out of someone to where all they can do is class and sports. Former athlete Elijah Green, who used to play on the football team, talks about his experience and why he chose to leave football. In his quote, one thing that becomes apparent rather quickly when playing a college sport is that time is no longer your own. Football became my life, plain and simple. I lifted in my time off, and I have practiced 5 out of the 7 days a week, with the off days being travel days and game day. It became an unsustainable lifestyle. I wasn't pursuing my other passions, and I was so tired all the time that I didn't have enough energy to get up and go to church on Sundays. I was mildly I was moody and irritable, and classwork became just an extra chore at the end of the day. So I decided I wanted to take my life back, and that's what I wanted to pursue. I wanted to pursue my other passions again, as well as enjoy going to college for the experiences that it could provide outside the classroom and not feel obligated to stay in my classroom, my room, and catch up on rest. Football is very draining as well as other Wabash sports. Rest becomes your lifeline. Activities, social events are secondary. Not to mention, this place is supposed to set you up with great connections and stuff. But how are you going to find the time to go out your way and meet some alumni? How are you going to go out your way and go to career services to get your resume set up? You don't. You are worried about sleep. This last person I interviewed, Jeremiah Clayton, current football player, talks about his experiences with Wabash sports, in his case, football. What is one thing you think the coaches can do to make practice and your sport, football, more enjoyable?
Damn. Lord knows what I'm feeling right now. Shit, give me some black representation on the staff. If you want me to be real, you know what I mean? It's only a number of us on the team. And, we continuously learn from each other regardless. But it's a difference when you have that administrative, that authoritative type of coaching that looks like you. What's up?
What up?
What's good? Good.
So in this, Jeremiah talks about how football does take up a lot of time in his life, but he's using it as a lever to work on his time management skills, in which situations like this do really push your time limit skills to the test. However, there are some alternative options. There are all the time I Am Sports popping up. You got flag football, you got I Am Basketball, I Am Soccer, you got rugby, you can join the rugby team. And all of these take up time, but not nearly as much time, and you can still get those competitive juices and physical activity going. The competition might not be as good, but it's a great alternative because you came here to be a student first. You came here for the Wabash education. So maybe you should prioritize some things and realize sports don't last forever. Education, in your mind, that will. To wrap things up, Wabash College roster sports, for the most part, have a negative effect on students' college experience at Wabash College. It is academically compromising and can socially, personally demoralize you. Now, there are alternatives such as playing IMs, joining other clubs, working on your alumni connections. These are just some of the many routes you can go. And before you wake up for your next 5:30 lift, I want you to really consider, is this something I really want to be doing for my future years at Wabash College? Something that I want to do right now. Thank you.